Hi guys, I'm Jenna. I make semi-regular writing videos on the internet. Welcome to this new video. If you haven't seen my previous writing episode videos, I'm going to link them up in whichever side it is, and you can go watch some of them. Though note, the story has changed a lot since I originally started making these videos, so a lot of that information is not going to be accurate anymore, which is why I keep updating you guys via whatever episode this is. I don't even know what it is now. I've been making these videos basically since the inception of my novel #SpeedyBook, and the story has changed a lot. However, in just the past year since I last made a video in general, it has changed even more so. So I want to talk about that today and answer some of you guys' questions, etc. So what I've done this year is I finished my, I think it's my 20th draft of the book. It's my 4th rewrite of the book, and it is ready for betas. So if you guys wanted to sign up to become a beta reader, I will leave the link in the description and the comments down below for you guys to sign up. Everyone who signs up will get the first 3 chapters for them to critique. They're not just for you to read, but they're for critique. So if you apply, critique the first 3 chapters, and answer the questionnaire, then I might select you to go on and read the rest of the book. Please don't sign up just to read the first 3 chapters. I will be making those public soon anyways. I should have said this in my beta announcement video. Oh well. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I changed this year is the category of the book. If you don't know what category is, there's basically genre, which is like sci-fi, fantasy, etc. And then there's like subcategory, so it might be like dystopian inside of a sci-fi dystopian. And then those are all like genre things, but then there's also the category, so you can have middle grade, kids, YA, adult, etc. So my book I always said was YA, and what it turns out it actually is an adult with YA crossover appeal. And so it took me almost 5 years to figure this out. And honestly, I should have figured it out beforehand. I submitted to a contest, and we'll be talking about all the contests I submitted in a video eventually, whether like if I get an agent, I will talk about it then. If I get into a mentorship program, I'll talk about it then. Or if it like book fails inquiring, then I'll talk about it. But for now, let's just say I entered a contest. A mentor was interested in the full novel, read a bunch of it, and then came back to me, not choosing me, but then said basically, I think your book is just too adult and I'm only accepting YA. So I took that as meaning, oh, I need to make my book more YA, and it was impossible. So I tried editing it for like a year to make it more YA. It just still did not work. And I talked to a bunch of different people. I talked to a lot of people about this, and eventually I decided, you know what, the book needs to be adult. It has adult themes. The second book, the characters are more aged up. If willing I ever get to write the sequel, even if it doesn't get published, I will write the sequel. I realized that it was adult and that I was just holding on to the whole YA thing because that was where I was comfortable. That's the books that I knew, and I didn't think that my little book would do very well in the adult sphere, but then that's because I thought sci-fi, adult sci-fi was just like one thing, and as I've researched more about it and found more books that I actually really enjoy and are really interested in the adult sci-fi section, I realized no, actually my book would fit in quite well there, but it does also have that sort of appeal that goes into YA a little bit. The main character is, at least in this current iteration, she's 18, so she's right on that cusp of where like new adult would be if it was ever a thing. So that has changed. It is officially an adult book. That means it's gonna have more adult themes, depending on my agent eventually and maybe my mentor. It definitely had more adult themes before its latest version in draft 20, but that's because I was looking at a lot of agents and they said that they didn't want to deal with certain triggering things in the book, so I pulled back on a lot of those. There still is like a tiny mention of one of those things. If you sign up to be a beta, you'll see what the triggers are in there, and they'll definitely be very clear once the book is out. Willing it's ever out, what the triggers are when it's actually out, but because I keep changing things, I don't want to tell people there's these triggers and then they're absent from the book, or I want to tell them that there isn't these triggers and then they are. So that's where I stand on that right now. I just want to say I've gotten so much more inspiration for this book. Like, I read Aurora Rising, and I gotta tell you, I feel like J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman were just like inside my head, because there's a lot of similarities between our books, but there's just enough differences where like I got kind of freaked out at first, and I was like, ugh, and then I realized like, no, there's enough differences where this is hopefully okay, and then I started using it as a comp instead. But when I just started, I was like, did you see all these writing episodes? I'm playing, but so yeah, there's that. I found a lot more books. I can't wait to show you guys what I have in front of the camera, which is my 2 huge bookshelves I got from Walmart. One of them is what I've already read, the other one is to be read. Yes, I have an entire bookshelf of to be read, and there's like a smaller one in between that is to be read. But I have a bunch of sci-fi on just one shelf, and those are all, whenever I read them, going to be so much inspiration, and just like having them is so good. Now that I'm actually going to be doing betas, I'll have time to read them, hopefully, and I'm very excited about that. So basically, I wanted to tell you guys what my plan is for the upcoming 2021 time, which will hopefully be better than 2022. And so I have my betas right now where they are currently going to need to finish the entire book by January 11th, and that's because sometime in January, author mentor match is going to happen, and then they're going to announce who won in February. And so I would really like to get into author mentor match, and if I don't, I will go and start querying, and especially depending on like what the betas say. So basically I want to have the betas done by January 11th so I can enter author mentor match and eventually query. However, it depends on what they say. So if like there's a huge red flag somewhere, there's this huge issue I have to change, then obviously that's gonna be a problem. And eventually I might just have to do a very small round of betas with probably people who've already read the book or people who I know. That's why this is literally the last time you guys will possibly get to read Spaceborne unless it gets published. Like, so if you want to sign up, go do it now. And if it doesn't get published, this will be like the only time you get to read it ever. But we're being helpful here. We're manifesting. So basically, that's where I am. I honestly think betas aren't gonna really have anything huge or like that I need to change. I have read and reread and reread this book for over almost 5 years now, and I think it will be fine. I'm pretty certain that the most that they're going to have to say is possibly about representation. I also have sensitivity readers sign up down there, so if someone betas and they just happen to have an experience in some sort of area that is also in my book, they can tell me about it, or they can choose not to, whatever. So I want to make sure all of that is good, and that's I think my biggest thing that I would possibly need to change, just because I don't have those experiences. I don't know whether or not I did good rep. I need people to tell me. I'm hoping that it comes back that I did everything correct, and if I didn't, I can fix things, and hopefully it's just something small. And then after that, the only other thing I can think of is certain just like word choices, or maybe like I know that I can probably make like maybe 2 more things better. However, the word count is already at a point where like I don't have much wiggle room to work with. But maybe if they show me some areas that I can cut, I can work in some other stuff. And I'm not sure what the actual day is to enter author mentor match in January yet, so hopefully it's not also the 11th. And if it is, hopefully beta's finished faster than that. I'm sorry, I'm getting so distracted because I turned on the light, and I guess every gnat from outside the window, because the window's open, has decided that they want to fly in through my curtains and just feast on the light. It's horrible. So I'm hoping that there will be enough time to fix whatever is wrong with it before author mentor match. And if I do get into author mentor match, then I will have a mentor. If I don't, then I will start querying. And that will be around February of 2021. So if I don't get in querying, if I do get in, I'll have a mentor by then. I'm really hoping to get an agent in 2021. That was actually my goal for this year, but with everything happening with COVID, I was just like, even if the book was ready, like I could probably query it right now, but I just want validation, really. I want to make sure that I'm on the right course before I jump in. And so that's basically where I'm at with that. So I will start querying and possibly, you know, have an agent after sometime in February 2021. And that's also a question I got, was whether or not I had a release day or anything. If I did get an agent in 2021, usually there's like 2 years of having an agent, maybe 1, and then possibly 2 years of, you know, published. So we're still looking like a long way out. I'm not going to give you like a year or anything, especially because I don't know whether I'll get an agent or not. Also, I want to tell you guys that I started a thing with a bunch of cool, awesome people over on Twitter. So it's called Story Lovers Aesthetic. #StoryLovers aesthetic. If you guys want to make weekly aesthetics based off of your stories and prompts that we give, go to the link to the Twitter down below. I have a bunch of co-hosts who are all lovely, amazing people, and we every Friday post aesthetics based off of the theme that comes up on Mondays. Why does everyone on the street think that they can just scream like all the time? I don't know what's up. But yeah, that's something we started this year as well that I was very excited about. Also, something I'm extra excited about, oh my god. I found an artist. I put out a call for artists and I ended up finding someone who was absolutely perfect to do commissions of my characters. And the reason I did this was because I knew I would need to look at their faces to pull me through, you know, any other edits I have to do, author mentor match, querying, and I knew that if I didn't get an agent at the end of everything, I would never justify to myself getting commission art. But these characters have been in my head for almost 5 years. They will be in January, and I just really wanted to see them, so I'm commissioning art from a very lovely person who I will share with you when I have all the commission art and I start releasing them and I talk about that experience. And oh gosh, I have some of them right now, and they're absolutely amazing and beautiful and worth every penny. And that's kind of where I am right now, but I wanted to tell you guys that that is definitely happening. So I know, but Julian Greystroke, I feel like I can't say that word, asked any big changes in Spaceborne and possible pub dates. Again, no possible pub dates, but big changes. It's adult, not YA now. There's definitely a lot of arcs that I changed in the book, so characters do things that I think will even surprise some of the betas who have previously read Spaceborne, but they're still in character, so it's very nice.